Good afternoon, Kent Bain. Welcome with Nine Business Group. Welcome to Elevate Your Business Chat with David Johnson. David, thank you for taking a few minutes to spend with us today. Please introduce yourself, your company, and what makes you guys unique and awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Kent. So we're a startup company and we build cottages. We're kind of out there on our own because we are, well, I'm just going to put it bluntly, we're weird. We do crazy things with space, and it's something that kids love, families love, and as a result, we're hoping to attract some angel investors in the near future.
Excellent. But when we spoke last week, I think the other thing that makes you guys unique as well is how you build them. Is that true?
True. So we are working right now on 4 different robots. These construction robots are designed to do different processes off-site and on-site. And when we pull the two together, we're hoping that we can make a product that is 95% built by robots and using AI to help improve it.
Absolutely amazing. So for those watching at home, please check out their website. The website is what, David?
It's gingerbread homes, all one word, .biz.
Fantastic. David has taken the time to put me through his slide deck and his pitch deck, truly changing and revolutionizing how we build homes and how we can build homes better in the future. So go check it out. In your journey as an entrepreneur, David, what has been the biggest challenge you've had to overcome since starting the business?
I would have to say when you're trying to change or there's upheaval in an industry that's pretty much set in their ways, as in the construction industry, it's a bit of a climb. And so innovation wise, the construction industry hasn't moved a whole lot in decades. I would say, they are pretty much doing things the way they always have been. Some of the offsite stuff that's happening now, where they're building panels, shipping into the site, and then assembling them on site, that is some improvement. But overall, it's just working with an industry that's pretty set in their ways as far as how they want to do things.
But I'm fascinated because it's, as a business guy for over 20 years now, that is the stuff that I think I enjoy the most is industries that are just old, stodgy, and maybe it goes along with my passion of I hate closed-minded people. And I find that business is better. We grow businesses, we grow people by being open-minded and willing to learn. And there have definitely been some industries that I've enjoyed watching take a little bit on the teeth. The cabbie industry, especially here in Alberta, Calgary is one for sure. The cabbie industry all over North America, just an antiquated old system that really didn't want to adapt to change and took it on the teeth when Uber came in. I've played around and my family's been having some fun with Turo. So best of luck to you if we can help in any way. Love the space, and this is nothing against my older brother who has a custom home building and a very profitable one out in Nanaimo, BC. But there's, in today's world, there's almost always a better way of doing things. And I get your fight in trying to change how we think. In fact, I had a conversation with a young family on Monday, and in the oil and gas industry, but very non-traditional in how they do their job. And they too kind of fighting against the machine or that's just the way we do things concept. So how are you solving it?
Well, so what happened a couple of years ago, I decided there was a problem with supply chain as far as the construction industry goes. So and speaking of the oil and gas industry, I thought, well, okay, first of all, we need to have our homes built in such a way that they'll last a long time. So what better way to do that than with petroleum-based products? So I went and developed this patent wherein it would help to reduce the costs of, for example, polypropylene pellets, things that would require styrofoam as in a sit panel in homes, all the way from shingles right down to everything that goes into the home itself. So about, I would say around 80 to 85% of a gingerbread home's cottage is requiring some kind of petroleum-based product. So I developed this patent called COPS, Kinetic Oil Processing System. And what I was hoping, and it's patented now, but at the time I was just hoping to be able to get styrofoam and those kinds of things at a lot cheaper price than what I would have to pay for them, and would price myself out of the range of an affordable home. So right now that patent is something I'm working on very closely with a couple of engineering firms, one of them actually out of Calgary, to see if we can get that going. And then my hope is that it'll help solve the problem as far as the supply chain is concerned, with the costliness of how much it takes to build a structure such as a cottage.
Fascinating. So you're trying to solve the closed-mindedness of the industry by bringing other products to market and solving some of their other problems in a different way, so that you can build a relationship. So it's kind of like, can't fix it overnight, but if I help you solve this one issue, I now have a relationship with you, and now I can kind of maybe. So is that kind of the right theme, the right idea?
Yeah, it's you're close. It's a vertically integrated company is a whole lot better and a lot more profitable than those who are relying on everyone else to supply what it is they need. And so instead of just becoming an assembler of a whole bunch of other products that other manufacturers are making, then some of it can actually be done via a change such as this. So what we're trying to do right now is take this to a level wherein the oil industry, if they used the COPS product, they would actually be able to go, and it's a mini oil refinery is what it is. And what it is, it's pulled up to a wellhead, and it's about the size of a shipping container. And then it goes and basically processes crude oil into final finished product, so that you're not shipping crude oil in pipes and on shipping container, in tankers over to China or whatever. So it's kind of it upsets the industry, the oil industry in that regard, because the midstream, it just sort of nullifies their need. It takes them right back to the upstream, and so it's not billions of dollars to go and build another refinery. Just use one of these COPS units and you can refine your stuff right on site.
Excellent. So back to the home building industry, what are the top 3 challenges that your company face in this industry in the next 18 to 24 months?
So quite frankly, it will be the financing side of things. So right now, I've got some programmers that are working on the code for the robots. And so I have some college students that are actually doing that, and they're working frantically on pulling one together, hoping to have the coding for that done by next spring. And so it's a capital intensive process right now that I'm going through, and but I'm committed to it. And once we have the code together, then we can do simulations virtually. So that I'm hoping will be a big sell for investors that'll say, gee, you know what, this has got some traction here. Let's prove this out. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is funding over the next 18 months is my biggest concern.
And how about the home manufacturing, home building industry in general? What are the biggest challenges they face in Calgary or in Alberta over the next 22 years?
I would say, I think I think the industry is well set to continue on as long as people need homes, they can keep building. But I don't know as far as the small contractors, they'll be able to do renos and things like that. There's always going to be a need for that. Just because of the costs of building new homes is, it's pricing a lot of the entry level type families out of being able to get into anything. So I think that, the big contractors are going to do fine. I don't think they're going to have to worry at all. The problem is going to be the need out there is just going to continue to grow. And I don't think they're going to be able to meet it unless families decide to start huddling and, put two families in one home or build more apartments so that, there's something that, a young family can afford, or, multifamily dwellings, those kinds of things. But I think that's probably, I would have to say that's pretty status quo as to how it's been handled for the last several decades.
I think the one thing I would throw in there, we built a custom home for our family back in 2003. I think the biggest change I've seen sort of watching the industry is a couple, three. One is the time to build. They designed and built my house in about 6 months. That was everything from raw drawings right to move-in day. That norm seems to have been now pushed closer to like 9-12 months or longer. If you're doing anything north of a 3,000 square foot home, you're talking 12 plus months. So part of those challenges in that industry now become part of carrying costs, lag time, efficiencies, continuity within production, right? You start a production in April, May, you finish it in July, you have different seasons to deal with. You might end up with different contractors. So, and then I think also in there is, you mentioned it, kind of those rising production costs. When you start a project, any project, and it takes you 18 months to finish, well, you're going to have all kinds of supply chain issues, variabilities. We don't anymore have massive warehouses of inventory to drop on. We literally use our retailers, our Ronas, our Home Depots for our inventory, but even them, they don't have warehouses full of stuff anymore like they used to. It's very much wait a week, it's coming. So it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. Fun question. What is your definition of a successful business?
I would say where you're meeting a real need, where you can actually make a difference in the world and you're making change that sticks. Not just putting band-aids on old problems. The same kind of thinking, I think Albert Einstein said, that got us to the problem state where we're at is not going to solve the problem going forward. So there has to be something different. Someone is going to have to invest in a construction robot at some point in time. Regardless, it doesn't make any difference. Either now or 100 years from now, somebody's going to have to invent one of those. And so I think it's just a matter of time before there's going to be a movement away from the thinking that, we can just go on status quo. And yes, they can, but those contractors that think that way, they're going to come and go and they'll be gone. And then whoever the business gets turned over, they'll have to solve those kinds of problems. And some of them don't really care at this point. They just go ahead and say, well, we'll just keep on going the way we're going. But I think there has to be an investment in the future there in that area.
I would concur. I think going back to that question of kind of challenges the industry faced in maybe not in 24 months, but definitely in 3 to 5 years, is just general labor. As we become more and more white collarish industries, there are going to be less and less people who want to pick up a hammer, want to use a saw. We kind of look at the patterns happening in India versus China. There's still a lot of blue collar workforce in China, so they get a lot of infrastructure, they build a lot of roads and houses. And in India, there's less as a percent of blue collar, so they don't have a lot of infrastructure because nobody wants to do the work. We all want to be engineers, we want to be the thinkers, we want to do the planning, not the execution. And I think coming your way soon here in North America and Western Canada, it's going to be the same. When I look at, I got a 15-year-old home, I got a 12-year-old at home, I see the kids around the neighborhood. As I reach out to these young entrepreneurs, it's like, there's not this burning desire for guys to go, I want to build Calgary's next largest plumbing company. I want to build the next lumber manufacturing plant. It's like, no, I want to become an engineer. I want to send people to outer space. I want to do all this other stuff. And so I think that's the other challenge we face. And I'm going to save this question till the end because the next one is my favorite and I want to ask it first. What do you want to be known for?
A disruptor.
Excellent. My favorite. Good for you. How bad do you want to disrupt the industry?
Bad.
Cool.
Really bad.
Okay. Love it.
It's just frustrating. I can't tell you how many days I've thought about, well, you know what, if he just did this better, he did that better. But yeah, it's pretty frustrating to have to sit back and watch the kinds of things that have gone on in the industry for far too long. And they're not even really addressing the needs that are out there. They've got these blinders on that they just think they've figured it out and they're just going to keep building things the way they've been building them and no one's going to tell them anything different. I despise that. I truly, if I'm the misfit, then I want to be the misfit.
You're willing to own it, are you?
Absolutely. I'll be the weird guy. I'll be the fall guy. I'll be whatever, but I can't, I just can't accept that kind of an attitude about, well, we just can't do it. Well, look at all the building codes. We'll look at all the stuff you have to deal with from the, inspectors or the local, and everything changes from neighborhood to neighborhood. Well, okay. Of course, granted, this is a big widget and it goes in a lot of different places, but it doesn't mean we can't go and resolve that. It can be done. And the point is, it has to be done because we have to have places to live in. Just like we need food to eat and clothes to wear, we got to have places to live in. So I'm sorry, I have no regrets in saying that. Yeah, I'm a nonconformist and I'm just tenacious about this idea. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much, David. One last time for those at home, where can we find you online? And for those curious about gingerbread homes and cottages, where can they get more information?
So just feel free to call me directly, 403-715-6804. That's my cell number. Email is dajohnson162000@hotmail.com.
Excellent. So just reiterate, say that phone number again because you cut out, and the email address again.
Okay, 403-715-6804. Email dajohnson162000@hotmail.com.
Excellent. You're more than gracious with your time. Thank you very much. And stay tuned for the next episode coming soon.